Hello, good day, and how are you? I am Swananam Dambo, a chartered accountant, and you are here because you want to register a company in less than 10 minutes. So let's get straight into it. First thing is, the method we're using today requires you to have a South African ID number for all of your directors. So let's get that straight. Then there's also a couple other items we'll need to get going. So make sure you have the following handy. Number one, a South African ID for all directors, as mentioned earlier. Number two, a debit or credit card to make payment. Number three, a list of up to 4 proposed names for your company. As an aside, this step can be skipped if you are happy with registering your company without a name. That is possible, and it does make it a little bit cheaper. And then number four, for each of your directors, you'll want to get the date of issue of their ID documents, the director's marriage date per Home Affairs if they are married, and for those that are married, you want to get their spouse's ID numbers as well. Usually I like to just get a copy of the ID document just to make sure that there's no errors and so that I can see the dates of issue. Right, so now that we have all of those items, let's open up our browser and navigate to BizPortal. I'll have a link below so that you can quickly find BizPortal. And once we're here, we'll want to click register at the top if we don't already have a BizPortal or CIPC account. I won't go into this step because it's really easy to do and because I already have an account, but I promise it's very, very easy. So now that we're registered, we'll log in over here. We log in and it gives us our information and they make it very simple. The register a company button is right there in front of us. So let's click into that. We'll get some information on company registration and name reservations. What we're looking for is this button right here, the new registration button. So let's click into that. And then next we'll get 3 screens of terms and conditions, which we will accept until we land at the company type selection page. Now let's be sure to select the private company. And before we move on from this page, let me just quickly explain that as the title of this video says, this is for private companies. You can also register nonprofits through this method. But if you want other forms of companies, such as public companies, for example, there are other more manual means to do that. And I'll probably make a video in the future to help you with that as well. Okay, so let's hit continue and move on to the director ID numbers page. Here, we'll add each of our directors for the private company. You can add the ID numbers and click the green plus button like so, and click it again for each new director. Make sure that they get added to that register, to that record at the bottom. Okay, so the site will add the director and it's supposed to pull the director's name and surname, but it didn't pick that up here, but no worries. Let's just keep it moving. We'll enter that information in the following page. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is add our director details over here. You've filled in these forms many times before, so just do more of the same and hit continue. The next screen is for you to decide the year end of your company. This can be any month you want of the year. A lot of people choose February because it coincides with the personal income tax year, but you can choose whatever one you want. Some people choose December so that a financial year is the same as a regular year. So next we'll add the number of shares. Here they suggest 100 or 1,000 shares, and there's also a specify your own number of shares button. There's no specific requirement on the number of shares. You can always have more shares, but the more shares you have, the easier it is to subdivide them if you have a lot of shareholders. Usually though, when people are registering private companies, they should be fine with 100 shares because typically it's just them as the sole shareholder, or maybe a couple of people, but you can subdivide 100 into those people. Okay, think about it like this. What you want to do is you want to think about how many shareholders you have. This will be how you allocate their share of the value of the company. Okay, now let's add the location of our company. This can be the physical location of the company, or if it's not got a physical location yet, then you can use your home address or other business address that you might have. This is another one of those things that can be changed later when the business location changes. Okay, let's hit continue over here. Next, we'll apply for a company name or use an existing name that we got approved, or we'll choose not to apply for a name. I'll take you through the new name process quickly, so let's click into that over here. Okay. On this screen, we will enter the 4 company names that we want, making sure to add them in the order that we prefer them. This is important because on the next page, we don't actually get the option to reorder those names. Okay, great. So now let's hit continue. Okay, so you'll notice how here we don't get the option to actually change our company name. And that's why it was so important for us to get that right in the previous screen. Okay, let's click here and let's keep it moving. Next, you'll be asked to specify if your company has any employees. We don't have those, so we'll hit no. But if it does have employees, then you'll hit yes, of course. And next, we'll decide whether we want to apply for a BEE certificate. There are some companies that need this in order to apply for tenders and the like. So if you're one of those, hit yes, but you can always apply for it later as well. Because it doesn't hurt to do so, we'll hit yes and apply for it here. We'll fill in this information here, taking care to read the descriptions carefully and ensure we have entered the appropriate information. Remember that it's illegal to provide false information on your BEE certificate application. Okay, so the form will continue to add fields based on the answers you give, and you'll fill those in appropriately. Finally, we've filled in all our information. We'll hit the continue button down here, and we'll click apply to apply for the BEE certificate. The next page will ask if you want a business bank account. Now, this isn't going to get you a business bank account. It'll send your company information to the bank that you choose, and someone from the bank will give you a call to actually find out what is the right banking product for your company specifically. Personally, I don't want banks bothering me about accounts, so I'll skip this page by clicking no. And then finally, we'll decide whether we want to make payment via debit or credit card. Or if you are an existing CIPC customer, you might already have some credits and we can use those credits. And as you can see here, I had some credits I could use, but I prefer to use the bank card because I can use the credits for other CIPC services that don't allow you to use a credit card. And I don't want to wait for money to transfer into my account first. Right, so I highly recommend just using the bank card option. So I'll hit add to cart and the next page will inform us that the company registration has been lodged. This means that the application for the company registration has been received and it's pending payment. And that's company registration done. All we need to do now is hit pay, and then on the next page we'll be able to make payment, and soon we'll receive an email letting us know that the company registration was completed successfully. Well done. That wasn't too bad now, was it? I told you it would take less than 10 minutes. And before you click off though, I have one last step that I typically would recommend to new company owners. The recommended next steps will be to file a request to update yourself as the registered representative on e-filing. This is for your taxes. Trust me, I work with a lot of customers who want to file taxes but suddenly find out they can't because they didn't do this step, and it can take up to 21 business days for SARS to approve that request. So rather do that now. I'll link a video to that once I've shot it in the description below, or I will have it as a pinned comment. But yeah, that's company registration done. Hey, thanks for going through this with me and have a great day further.